An Air India flight carrying 242 people crashed seconds after takeoff in Western India's Ahmedabad. At least 265 casualties have been reported so far, including passengers, plane crew and medical students on the site of the crash. The toll continues to mount. The city police chief says 204 bodies have been recovered so far. These are the final moments, the plane taking off and then losing altitude, plunging into the ground and exploding into a fireball. In the latest, sources tell WION that officials have recovered the black box of the Air India 171. The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, operating as Flight 171 bound for London, went down outside the airport perimeter minutes after departing. The plane took off at 1300 hours 39 minutes Indian Standard Time from the Sardar Vallabhbhai International Airport. On board 230 passengers, 2 pilots, 10 cabin crew. The airline confirmed the nationalities. This is the breakdown of that: 169 Indians, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese, 1 Canadian. India's aviation regulator, the DGCA, says the aircraft issued a mayday call before crashing. The plane struck the rooftop of a residential complex, a doctor's hostel belonging to the state-run BJ Medical College. Images from the site show the aircraft tearing through the dining area of the hostel. A large-scale DNA sampling drive is currently underway, with FSL teams working continuously to identify the victims. DNA test results are expected within 72 hours. The Indian Army, National Disaster Response Force and local police joined firefighters in search and rescue operations. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi termed the crash heartbreaking beyond words. India's External Affairs Ministry has confirmed multiple fatalities, though the final casualty count is still awaited.
What has happened in Ahmedabad is a very tragic accident. We have lost a lot of people. We extend our deepest condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones. There are, I understand, several foreigners also. Those updates you will receive from the relevant departments, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Air India and others. They are putting out something, I guess, soon. That's the latest that I can share. It's still an evolving situation. Rescue operations are on, so you'll have to wait a little more time for exact details to be put out.
Amit Shah, India's Union Home Minister, visited the crash site and took stock of the situation. The Home Minister also visited the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. Amit Shah also met senior officials to assess the current situation. The aircraft was under the command of Captain Sumit Sabharwal, who had over 80 to 100 hours of flight experience, also Officer Clive with 1100 hours. The Dreamliner first entered service in 2011. This marks the model's first crash. The downed aircraft had flown its maiden journey in 2013. It was delivered to Air India in January 2014. Boeing said it is aware of the incident and is gathering further details. World leaders, including Russian President Putin, Ukrainian President Zelensky, European Union President Ursula von der Leyen, Maldivian President Muizzu and officials in Beijing, Tehran extended their condolences. British Foreign Minister David Lammy expressed deep sorrow over the tragedy as well. All right, for more on this, the correspondent Disha Shah has sent us this report from ground zero of this tragedy in Ahmedabad. Let's take a look at this.
In an absolute shocking and an unfortunate incident where more than 200 people lost their lives and many people have been injured in a plane crash which has been termed as aviation's worst plane crashes of all time. Here we are talking about an Air India flight which took off from the Ahmedabad airport, which was on the way to London. It crashed right here at this the very specific same spot which we are showing you. This is the doctor's hostel. There are about 5 buildings in as part of this entire medical college is concerned, and every building has been affected. Every building here has faced extensive damage, and specifically the resident doctors who were present inside at the time of the crash also faced either casualties or injuries, because that official number is yet to be ascertained from the official authorities. On the ground level, this is the area from where the plane comes and it takes off. This is where the Ahmedabad airport is, which is just 15 minutes away from the crash site. And when it took off at about 1:40 p.m., within 2 minutes, it crashed right here at one of the doctors' hostels building, where at least more than 50 to 60 resident doctors were having lunch. It was lunchtime, and there were about 242 passengers on board, including 230 passengers, 2 pilots, and 10 crew members and the staff. What we are being told that when the one portion of the flight and the plane crashed, it made a huge impact and damage on the ground level, creating a thick smoke right up on the air. The rescue teams came. More than 400 personnel were doing the rescue operations throughout the day on Thursday. And at about 11:30 p.m. on the night of the incident, the rescue operations were called off for the day, and they said it will be continued the next morning. This, what you can see, is one tail wing of the plane. As you can rightly see, this is what was crashed right up at the doctors' hostels, one of the buildings where the resident doctors were having lunch. And this area, if you talk about, this is also a populated area, because this is where the doctors live, and the treatment also happens here. They also study here. And on the other side, just few meters away, there's a residential housing complex as well. Now, talking about the rescue, there were police personnel, fire brigade team of NDRF, SDRF, Indian Army, everyone on the spot to remove the debris, and it took about 10 to 12 hours for them to clear 80% of the debris removal work, is what we are being told, and 20% will be carried and continued on Friday morning. As of now, all of them which suffered injuries or casualties were taken and rushed right from this very crash site to the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, which is about 15 minutes away from this specific location. And right now also you can see that it is about 12 a.m. and on the day of the incident, and you can see the police personnel are still on the ground. We can see more than 200 police personnel who are managing and guarding this entire crash site so that no other person apart from the rescue team can enter. On the other side, now the Gujarat government has asked people to do an inquiry report to assess 2 things. First, the technical team as to what really caused the crash, what really happened, why people had to lose lives, what technical issue really happened, and secondly, total number of casualties and how many people have been injured in this entire incident. Remember, this is the incident which not only took place in one building, but as you can see, in multiple buildings, which completely looks burnt from outside. So not only the passengers on the board, but also the resident doctors and the passers-by also have been equally affected. So according to the authorities, the death toll might go little bigger than what they had estimated. On the ground level now, what we are being told that the final death toll will be announced only after the DNA samples of the relatives will be taken, the identification of the passengers will be done, and only after that they will be able to say that how many people actually lost their lives and how many have been injured in this plane crash incident. This is Isha Shah reporting here for WION from Ahmedabad in Gujarat.
And in light of this tragedy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Ahmedabad today to take stock of the situation there as well. And for more on this, WION's Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us on the broadcast. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. This is the latest that we're getting right now, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Ahmedabad today to take stock of the situation. What can you tell us, Siddhant?
Well, yes, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be traveling to Ahmedabad later today in the aftermath of the Delhi plane crash. Now, remember, it is the home state of the Indian Prime Minister, and of course, this is something that is and was expected to happen. We know that the crash also saw the demise of the former Chief Minister of Gujarat as well, and this is one of the worst civilian airlines tragedy in India, and over 200 people are believed to have died in the crash. As Disha was pointing out, that official toll will be put very soon. But essentially, PM will be going and will take a stock of the situation. India has late yesterday night announced an investigation as well in the tragedy as well. But as the day progresses, India will count the losses and, of course, also as to why the accident happened, because this is the big question in front of many Indians today.
Absolutely, Siddhant. Well, of course, we'll be continuing to track all developments on that front through the course of the day. Thank you so much for getting us the latest on this for now. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.